Doubles and coffee. PNMs Lifesport Lies. Another one crumbles as the contractual dispute went to court, and the sport company, which is the sport company that was overseeing live sport, won the contractual battle. Now there may be an appeal to recoup monies based on the paper trail and the assertions of the then sport company in the live sport program that a contracted goods and service provider was failing to do their duty. There was a paper trail back and forth, arguing and fighting to make sure that the country gets value for money. This was all turned upside down with PNM lies about 34 million for nothing and corruption, when it was a contractual dispute that was heading to the civil court. And yesterday, the civil court ruled that due to non-performance, due to lack of input, that the company, the taxpayers, will get back their money. This was only able to happen because the truth was there and it took its time. That it was a contractual dispute. Not any corruption, not any collusion, not any board members getting benefits and so on. It was a contracted supplier who did not want, it appeared, to perform his duties. And the sport company who was managing was trying to create a scenario to get results. But you know who suffered? Young black boys across Trinidad and Tobago who were benefiting from live sport. But PNM don't want poor people to get a little food. PNM don't want poor people to be uplifted. PNM seems happy that young black people just out there on the streets killing themselves. That's why the crime situation has gotten out of hand, and nothing Rowley could do, say, or want to do shows that he cares. Puts Fitzgerald at Talbot, narcolepsy, sleepy, sativa, ride a horse with an 8-year-old boy, and then adds on Keith Scotland, who Rowley rejected for 4 years, to come and pretend that he's doing something when nothing is being done, and every day we see in the blood of our young black boys on the street, and Rowley and the PNM don't care. So they turned it into a lie about corruption. The audit report was rejected by the courts because it was out of hand, fraudulent and corrupt, and it did not follow best practice, and it was fraught with lies. Now, the sport company has won a judgment against that same goods and service provider for not fulfilling the contract, for not providing the services that the sport company back in 2012, 2013, 2014 was fighting to ensure that that supplier provided the services that he was being paid for, that the company was being paid for. And just to show you, let me just show you, because don't say, and they'll have a crystal ball, but the truth will always come, and the truth travels very slowly. Look at my letter of resignation here to the Speaker of the House, as I not only resigned from being a minister, I resigned in the principles, the best principles and convention of Westminster as a member of Parliament also. Nobody could have removed me from being an elected member of Parliament. But the principles of Westminster suggest that if there are allegations swirling and swirling, you remove yourself, clear your name, and return. But look at page 2. I just want to say, now that the judgment has come down. Honorable Speaker, before Friday 25th, and this letter is dated, let me just make sure, I don't want to just say any lie, 4th August 2014. Only look at it right there, okay, to the Honorable Speaker. Let me just read. I won't read the whole thing, but everything I put here is coming to pass one by one. Honorable Speaker, before Friday, 25th July 2014, this issue in live sport was a legal one, a civil one of a contractual nature which seemed to be heading to the civil courts for resolution. However, the laying of an incomplete, erroneous Central Audit Committee report of the Ministry of Finance and the Economy in this Honorable House, stating inter alia that the entire payment of 34 million to eBeam Interact Limited was made, notwithstanding that external attorneys advised that there may be grounds to contest and resist the final payment, This false conclusion transformed a civil matter into a criminal one, and the subsequent firestorm of unsubstantiated claims, allegations, counterclaims, and unwarranted attacks and assassination of character throughout this country has gone unabated. And Honorable Speaker, today I beseech you to clarify the record. But just about 10 years later, the record is now clarified that it was a contractual battle, that there was no corruption, no criminality, that there was a service provider just like a contractor who get a contract to do a road, and he ain't want to do the road, and he ain't want to build the road, and the Works and Transport Ministry or NITCO had to fight and go and get bond and so on. Those are issues that occur in contract and management of contracts. But the PNM didn't want poor black people to come off and get opportunities to uplift themselves. They didn't like 400 million, 200 million a year going down to the poorest of the poor, the most vulnerable. 200 million must go to a special contractor to build a Ministry of Health building, or a car park in South, or Skinner Park. Hundreds of millions must not go to 5,000 young black boys in the East-West corridor and across the country to let them put down the gun, to identify their talent, to give them sustainable jobs that they could live a life of comfort and joy in society. No, PNM don't want that. PNM want bloodshed. Every time the PNM comes, you see an increase in murders. 2008 world record in murders. Martin Joseph, PNM, 550. PNM murder record now is 622. Fitzgerald et Talbot Hines. And the bronze medalist Stuart Smallpin Young, 539. Why is that? So now you see another Lifesport lie debunked because it was a contractual dispute. The sport company was trying to get a goods provider to perform. He was not wanting to perform for whatever reason, and there was a battle. No thief, no corruption, no friend, and there was legal advice that stated that you had to pay the contract based on this contract that was signed. End of story. So on to the next Lifesport lie to be debunked. That's about number 5. Bless. Hey, Rowley, go and spend more money on Kate, but spend $1 billion running down on it. You can't find nothing, Rowley, because there's nothing to find. Your big flipping covo dance.